you. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Anil Garg to provide me this opportunity to share our thoughts on what we are doing in the CBG sector and how the CBG sector can be one of the primary energy transition sector at present for meeting our energy demands. So ma'am has mentioned a lot of challenges, and I will try to tell what we can do particularly. So a little bit about me. I'm basically a PhD in biotechnology, and I'm working into this particular sector from '93 itself, when I realized, when I was going to my patients' houses to collect the blood sample, and they are living in the pathetic condition. At that time, I realized that this particular thing, which is called as organic waste, needs to be handled. And at that time, I could able to do hydrogen production from the bio-waste and biomethane. So since then, I am working on to this particular aspect, and my mission as a scientist and now as an entrepreneur is to make our country a supplier of CBG rather than just an importer of gas. That's what I really need to, my intentions are. I want my children to be sheikh of tomorrows, because you know all Qatar and everybody is giving us the main energy source, and then we are giving. So in my opinion, nothing is waste. It's just a resource which is placed at a wrong place at a wrong time, and we need to utilize it. And that's what madam has now summarized it. So coming to this particular scenario which we are facing, and in the morning also you have seen the news, the problem is there is a waste and there is an energy crisis. And how we can, since '93, I'm listening to this particular aspect of climate change, and we are doing a lot of agreements, and somehow we have come to this SDGs. And what I have focused on from 30 years back is the main thing, that is biosphere. We need to focus on our sustainability on biosphere, then we will able to work on. And that's what now has come to that, where we have to see the environment, which is coming to a more priority than anything else. Now, even profitability comes later. It's first the environment. So that's what has happened. And as I mentioned, now also everybody is realizing that the biofuel is the option. We are talking about not only the CBG, there are next generation fuels which will be coming. Subhadip ma'am will be talking about that. So biofuel is the future. And the questions which I have asked is, you can see that energy future, it is there, because if we will be tackling our waste, reducing our emissions and boosting our rural economy, we will be on the forefront of the global economy. That's what is possible. Not only in India, worldwide, like ma'am has already mentioned about the Germany, and they are using the gas. So this has been picked up. Biogas has a transition from rural solution to a global energy infrastructure. And after the Ukraine war, everybody is looking for their local energy security using these particular materials. So since the time is little less, I will be just taking it little this thing. So when we say biogas, biogas basically sits at climate, waste and energy security. So that is where we have to really work very hard to make this biogas mission, which our government is also trying, to be real success. And for this, we need to have a collaborations, and various stakeholders needs to be come together. And the most important part, which is mostly having a bottleneck for the existing CBG plant, is the digestate offtake or digestate management. So that is where the hidden, this is basically the hidden value which we have. Since we need a lot of fertilizer, and since the last sessions we have listened to how much fertilizer we need, if we can process this particular digestate, we will be even solving our food crisis. So CBG can help us to give us the food, water and energy security, and that's why we need to really work very hard as a bioeconomy enabler. Okay. So that is what I wanted to summarize, that CBG is not only an alternative fuel, it is solving a lot of challenges, both energy, environment and economy. And that's why we really need to be working on this particular thing. The question now is that how fast we will able to build it. We have to build 5,000 plants. Now, madam has told that only 150 plants, at least they can run on 100%. Not only 100%, at least 75%, but still we are not at that stage. So that's very important, and I will be coming to that point in just a few minutes. So, ma'am has already mentioned, if there is no feedstock, there is no gas. So we have to work on our forward integration to get the waste there. Segregation is very, very important, and I think it's everybody's responsibility. Every citizen has to take this responsibility of segregating waste. It is happening in West, it is happening in other countries, and that's why they are successful in doing a lot of recycling, not only in case of biogas, but in any other sector also. So that's why segregation is very, very important. We are the most populated country. If we will really use this resource, which we call as MSW, wisely, we will be on to the forefront of next circular economy front. So that is what ma'am has also mentioned. So we have this circular economy model where every household, every industry, every institute can be using this particular thing, and I really want to emphasize again, nothing is waste. Whatever you are not using is somebody else's resource, maybe plastic, maybe metal, maybe organic, but it is somebody else's resource. So please mindful of whatever you are having. Biogas can be used at various sectors. There is girth, or we can say it can be used for cooking, transportation, or industrial chemical making. Many other things can be, even fertilizer, they need methane to be cracked. So it can be used. So it is a platform that converts India waste into energy. So that is what is required, and since morning we are trying to correlate, and ma'am was telling that there is some problem in purity. So only thing is that purification technology has to be there when we are purifying the gas. So that is important. So CBG and CNG is not very different. So when we are even thinking of PNG, the local biogas, not purified at that level, can be a very good cooking resource, and that can be used in the city pipelines. So CBG plant, the problem with the CBG plant is a big elephant. It is not just one technology. So we need to really understand, and every technology provided is looking from their angle. Even me, I'm looking only from the anaerobic biogas digestion type. The purification, everything needs to be integrated, and there has to be a lot of collaborations which is needed to understand what is happening and how we can improve or optimize this particular plant. And other main big challenge is that when plant developers have started looking into the development of their project, they have not seen it systematically. They have to see that where they are located, where there is the feedstock, where is the supply chain for transporting the fuel. Ma'am was mentioning cascade. If cascade has to go a long way, it will be more of carbon emission rather than a carbon saving, or the ROIs are not coming up. If we want to transport the feedstock from more than 50 kilometers, it will not make sense. So that's why we need to systematically understand where we are doing the project. So we need a lot of R&D, not only on the basis of what we are doing. So it has to be a whole integrated thing. So as scientist, what I found that I need to step up and do a startup to really work with the other stakeholder to make it possible, because staying in the academia, it is not happening. So that's what I have tried. So anaerobic digester comes into the center of many biofuels. We can just replace the microorganisms and can change the biofuel. That's what we are doing. And the basic science of anaerobic digester is this one, where we have to have the VFAs. VFAs can be used as a future fuel. Here we can get butyrate and many other things. So we are already producing hydrogen in between this process, and that can be utilized as biohydrogen. So there are many things which we can do. And as company, now we are providing the different cultures, different consortia to do many other things with the waste materials, and we are developing those technology. Our first product is basically the anaerobic sludge, which contains the right quality and quantity of microbes. We need not to only supply this, but we need to maintain this on the ground, on the field. And that's what we are doing with the help of our app, which we have created, where we have maintaining the everyday challenge which the plant operator or the owner is facing. Because अगर खाना मिला तो भी प्रॉब्लम है और अगर ज़्यादा मिला तो भी प्रॉब्लम है, और नहीं मिल रहा है तो क्या करना है, क्या दिक्कत आ रही है. Everyday monitoring is required, and that's what we are doing because the microbes are living systems. So that is what we have created. So consequence of poor microbial management is all this which we are listening from even ma'am, that these are all imbalances which are happening. And from the Germany, we know that if we are not maintaining the CBG plant, it will not happen. So we need to really monitor the plant very efficiently. And that is what we are trying. We are trying to work with the plant owners or the plant developers to really monitor the plant and help them working in. And these are some of the parameters which many people know. What we have set up is the alarm so that you know that when is the things are not happening. So through that, we are working with the developers to make the plant running at a maximum efficiency. So this is what challenge madam has already spoken to. So you can see the feedstock is the single largest operating cost when you will be coming to that. So you have to be very thoughtful from where you are getting the feedstocks and what you are doing. So when you are changing a feedstock also, you need to think and you have to match it with the microorganism, and therein we come into the picture and we can be with the developer, that how they are arranging and what challenge they are facing. There might be n number of challenges to manage the feedstock. So that is what I will say, that most of the people think that CBG is more of mechanical or the electromechanical thing, but this is a living system. We have a lot of infrastructure, but it is not functioning. So that is basically, if it is not working, it's a lost opportunity. So what we are trying to do is, there can be any, right now most of the plant when comes to us is having a disease, I will call it like that. And when that comes to us, we correct it within 1 week of time, and the gas yield increases by 3 times to 4 times. But that is not actually the increase in the yield, because that we have already calculated. But the problem is we could not able to recover that. We are doing a lot of BMPs and saying that this is the feedstock potential, but it is not coming up. So that is what we are doing. I need not to work on this particular thing. There are a lot of policies or of challenges which has come up, and government is working hand in hand to solve those problems. So digestate is main problem, but if the digester have a stable digestion, then the digester quality is very good, which can be used as an organic fertilizer. So I need not to talk about all this. I try to put in into one slide that these are all schemes which has been provided to make this sector work or make this sector an business case. So we can utilize all these things wisely and use this particular thing. So now I am coming to the hydrogen. As I mentioned that this is my dream project, and what we could able to do with the help of Amrit grant, we could able to demonstrate that any organic waste molecule, which can be a food waste, municipal solid waste, or any agriculture waste, or any effluent also, we can produce both hydrogen and methane from the same plant, which will increase the energy output. So we have just got that patent, and we are now trying to scale it up to really do modification, not only getting the CBG, but the biohydrogen, which has been talked yesterday in the session also. So we are working on to that. So biological hydrogen production is one way where the cost of production of hydrogen will come down, the carbon emissions will come down, and since we have a lot of waste available, we can be on the forefront of supplying it. So if you see the techno-economics of the biohydrogen production, it will be the least one that will, because it is not requiring any energy source. So hydrogen, basically, I have tried it. Since 30 years, I am working on to this biohydrogen, but it is still in TRL 2-3. It is an academia baby. It had not come to the real ground. So that is where we need to work very hard with academia as well as the industry to bridge that gap and move forward. So global, I will say that in most of the countries are looking for India as a hydrogen supplier. So we can really work very hard to get this into a reality. That if we really want to have a leapfrog in our development, we really have to work on our energy security, not only ours, supplying it to the global level. That is what we have to work on. So there are some benefits of hydrogen production which I have listed here. And this is a small infrastructure, and I am really thankful to the ecosystem which has given me wings to fly from a scientist to the enterprise. So we started from a very small lab. BIRAC has given us the funding to start this particular aspect, and now we have our own pilot plant, and from where we are supplying our cultures and our other products. So we have now monitoring the plants sitting here in Maldives. So that is what we can able to do. Like Modi ji says, you have to develop something locally and then take it to the global level, and that's what I aim for, and I look forward to everybody to collaborate and help us to really make the CBG sector a real success in India. Thank you very much for providing me the opportunity.